It was New Year's Eve. The party was at our house, full of family, friends, and laughter. Everything seemed perfect. But as the night wore on, something shifted. You know that feeling when you suddenly feel like you're not part of the room? I was sitting between my husband and his best friend's wife, let's call her Sophie, and at first, I didn't think anything of it. She was dressed in a mini skirt. It was freezing outside, but hey, some people are just bold, right? But then, something about the way she was acting caught my eye. The small touches on my husband's arm, the way she laughed too loud at his jokes, the eyes meeting a little too long when they thought no one was looking. I brushed it off. Maybe I was overthinking. But then, something happened. I stood up to grab drinks, and when I came back, the entire vibe had changed. The energy was thick, uncomfortable. I sat down, trying to shake off the tension. But it was there. And I couldn't ignore it anymore. As I looked around, everything clicked. I hadn't seen my husband much that night. Every time I tried to get his attention, he'd pull away, busy with his best friend and his wife. But something about the way he kept me at arm's length didn't feel right. It wasn't just a coincidence anymore. I felt isolated, invisible. Every time I suggested doing something, it was like I wasn't even part of the conversation. He'd go out with them, his best friend and his wife, without me. Why? I didn't have proof. I didn't have evidence. But I didn't need it. My gut was screaming. I kept it in. I didn't confront him. I didn't want to look like a jealous, paranoid wife. But as the weeks passed, it was all I could think about. So, I started pulling away. I couldn't even look at him the same way. I kept asking myself, how could I have been so blind? The love, the illusion, everything, shattered. The more I distanced myself, the more he reacted with anger. He threatened to kick me out of the house. We stopped talking, stopped planning things together. It was as if we were living in two separate worlds. One night, I told him, maybe it's time we face the truth. Maybe it's time we consider divorce. He didn't fight me. He didn't cry or beg. He just shrugged, like he couldn't care less. And that's when I knew. The man I married was gone. I don't even know if I still want this marriage. Honestly, part of me wants to destroy it. I've never felt so alone in my entire life. I keep wondering, what if I confront him? What if I ask Sophie about that night? But I know the truth. He'll deny it. He'll say I'm imagining things. So what's the point? I just want out. I just want to take control of my life. Because right now, this marriage feels like a prison. And Sophie? She's not the only one who's playing games.